Hi. Hopefully, third time's the charm. I had some noise issues, outside ambient noise, and some other issues. So this is the third time I'm live stream. Hopefully, the third time will be it. So anyway, you're probably wondering, number one, why am I here doing a video on this channel? This channel was shut down last year, and indeed, it's been shut down since 2023. So there have been no videos, no live streams, no short videos, nothing on this channel. And if you want to find out the reasons for that, go and check out my channel announcement video, which you can find here on this channel, but right after this video or this live stream. So, anyway, as anyone who's followed this channel or subscribed to this channel understands, this channel has been shut down. It's been shut down since 2023. So, there's been nothing on the channel. So, why am I doing something on this channel? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Well, in light of what's been going on with the recent quitting YouTube phenomena, I don't know if it's quite a movement, but it's a phenomena. And in light of the fact that I had my own views, which I never entirely made known, and as well as my experiences elsewhere online in terms of video sharing platforms and other platforms, I thought maybe I should just do one more video. And so this will absolutely, positively be the last video on this channel. Again, there's been nothing on this channel, no videos, no live streams, nothing since it shut down last year. And I intended it that way. But I thought, in light of a couple videos I've made, a video or two I've made elsewhere, I thought I should do that kind of video here. It would be relevant. So, what I want to say to people, just so that it's clear, do not mistake this for a return to this channel. I'm not returning to this channel. I'm not going to do content. I'm not going to do videos. I'm not going to do live streams. I'm only doing this because I thought it was a good idea to do a kind of companion piece to the shutdown. I don't need to do it, but I thought it was fair to do it. And I've done it in another medium, I've done it in another platform, so I only felt it was fair to do it here. Just. So, as you can tell from the title of this live stream, why quitting YouTube works and why you should do it too. So, clearly, this is not a title that the people at Alphabet or Google or YouTube are going to like. I don't think they're going to care personally, but clearly they're not going to like it. So, what you've been seeing in YouTube are all these videos that are talking about quitting YouTube. Well, I'll be honest. I quit YouTube last year. So I was ahead of the curve, apparently. I didn't know it was a thing to quit YouTube, but I did it last year. As anyone knows, this channel was shut down last year. And I have then, since, although I have my official channel, which is still operational, that channel has moved into a second phase, which is purely promotional and marketing and simply about promulgating my work. For those of you who follow this channel or may be aware, I'm a writer, and so I have had outlets that are mine. It used to be I wrote for magazines and newspapers. Now I write for my own outlets. I had a blog for about 4 years, and I have my Substack, which has been around for a couple of years, but I've now resurrected it and done pieces for. So on my official channel, I do targeted videos, which is what I call it. Targeted live stream, targeted promo videos that promotes, markets, puts my work out. And that gets into a little, some of what I'm going to talk about today, or talk about in this special video, which is when you look at this quitting YouTube phenomena, people have their reasons for quitting YouTube. And in my channel announcement, I expressed mine. And you can go and check that out. But the reason why I think quitting YouTube is something I think that works is what I have found in the time that I've left YouTube. Since I've left YouTube, I've gone back to and I've spent more time on other platforms. Now, as I mentioned in my announcement video, I never wanted to be on YouTube, wasn't my interest. And I'll be honest with you. One of the areas that I've gone to is TikTok. And quite frankly, I find TikTok a far more effective platform than YouTube. And it's been a far more effective platform for me. Now, again, obviously, with this video, I'm stating this from my experiences, from my reality, or my little facet of reality, from my background, right? But I'm also reflecting upon what I think are the realities and the facts in regards to video sharing platforms and other platforms. So I'll be brutally honest. YouTube is a waste of time if you're not in what I call five categories. Now, I mentioned this in a series I had on YouTube on this channel, a couple of them, I think, but at least once I had mentioned it. And there are five categories in which, if you fall into any of these five, you should have a YouTube channel and do content. Here are the five channels. Here are the five categories. Number one, professional, doctor, lawyer, architect, butcher, baker, candlestick maker, what have you. Number two, you own a business or you're engaged in business of some sort. Number three, you're in a trade, plumber, welder, carpenter, what have you. Number four, you have some kind of specific kind of work, right? Specific kind of work or job or what have you. And you could say acting, although that could fall in the profession as well. Acting, being a musician, what have you. And number five, having a hobby or interest. If you're in any of those five categories, you should have a YouTube channel. And one of the things that I tried to tell people was that if you are on YouTube, you fall in those five categories, you should have a YouTube channel. Because there are two things you should be doing, or there are two reasons for that. Number one, the first reason is you want to use it to further your own interests, whatever those interests are. They could be commercial interests, they could be intellectual interests, they could be purely business, financial, not only financial and business interests, but also related to that in some way, promotional, advertising, whatever. The second aspect is that you have something to impart to audiences. Audiences can gather information, knowledge, something that's not just beneficial, but something that's useful, right? So those are the two reasons that you should be on YouTube if you are one of those five categories that I mentioned. And if you don't have those two reasons, and you're not in those five categories, to be brutally honest, you need to get the hell off of YouTube. In fact, you shouldn't be on YouTube, period. But when I say not on YouTube, I mean not a content creator. Have a channel, that's fine, but don't do videos, don't do lives, don't do short videos, don't do anything. Go on a chat. If you want to even go on a panel, that's fine. The reality is that YouTube doesn't work for most people. And if you're not in those five categories that I mentioned, it's not going to work for you. I was a content creator on YouTube for over a year, mostly from 2022 and a little bit of 2023. And I knew nothing about content creation. I knew nothing about video sharing platforms for the most part. I knew nothing about I knew nothing about YouTube. And what I learned about YouTube is it's largely not worth it. if you aren't in those five categories. And it's largely not worth it if you don't have a reason for being on YouTube. And the reality is that the only reason that I have a channel, my official channel, is because I am a writer. And so I'm a professional. And technically I'm in business. So um, so I'm also in that second category. So there's a reason for me. But the problem that I see with a lot of people on YouTube is because they're not in any of those five categories, and because they just go on, they do the worst thing you could do on YouTube, which is just to go on and talk about whatever they want to talk about. Talk about the weather, talk about, I don't know, the leather in their car, talk about their cars. They're not automotive mechanics, they're not gearheads even, but they'll talk about anything under the sun. Politics, and they don't know anything about politics. They'll talk about the movie industry or the TV industry. They don't know anything about the movie or TV industry. They'll talk about relationships, and they sure as hell don't know anything about relationships. See the pattern here? If you don't have a reason, or the two reasons that I mentioned, if you're not in those five categories, why are you on YouTube? Why are you on here? Don't you have better things to do with your time? Don't you have other things you could be doing? That was the thing. See, I didn't want to say this. I kept this to myself. But now I feel free to be able to say this because I'm on other platforms. Yeah, I still have a YouTube channel, and a lot of the people who talk to you about quitting YouTube will tell you, yeah, uh, yeah, I'll quit and the show's over, or the channel's over. Well, they still have channels on YouTube. So when you talk about quitting YouTube, that's what you've got to understand. But one of the things that I learned in the year, or that I observed, not just learned, but observed in the year that I was a content creator, was most people shouldn't be on YouTube. Now, I always thought that's their business whether they want to be on YouTube or not. It's not my concern. It's none of my business. But after moving on and going on and doing other things, one of the things I kind of realized is that it's a waste of time for people. Like I said, if you're not in either of those five categories, and you don't have those two reasons that I mentioned, you're wasting your time. If I were you, I would stop doing YouTube videos. I would stop doing live streams, and I would get off of YouTube. When I say that is get off of being a content creator. Like I said, if you still want to have a channel, that's up to you. But to me, it's a waste of time. Now, some people might be going, well, why do you say this? Well, what's going on? What's you know why is it that you're going and advocating for not being on YouTube on YouTube? And again, I didn't want to come and say this because I thought it would. I wasn't sure whether it would be the right thing to do. It just didn't seem like my cup of tea. But I realized that it was. I did a video on my TikTok where I talked about go anywhere but YouTube. And I thought, okay, that's good. But you should also do it on YouTube. That's fair so that you can, what is it, stand on your, walk the walk, talk the talk. So, what I've found in regards to why YouTube really doesn't work is in comparison to other platforms, it just doesn't seem to be, YouTube seems a little bit more, how do I say, political. And when I mean political, I don't mean Democrat, Republican, partisan. Although that may be a factor, I don't know. But it seems internally political. When I was a content creator on YouTube, all I heard at times were complaints. You know, oh, YouTube does this to me in regard to subscribers, or they do this to me in regards to views, or they do this to me in terms of promoting videos, or they shadow ban me, or I got banned for doing this, or my channel had to shut down for that. A lot of what I heard during the time I was a content creator were complaints. And to be honest, to me, I thought the complaints at the end just could have been avoided if these people stopped doing videos and stopped doing live streams and just use their videos just to go on, chats and panels and so forth, and just got out of the content creating business. Most people on YouTube should not be content creators. People don't want to hear that, but it's true. They should not be content creators. That's what I found in the more than a year that I was a content creator on YouTube. Most people should not be content. Like I said, the 5 categories that I mentioned to you, if you don't have a channel that's doing something that's reasonable and beneficial and useful, then you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Or that benefits you. My official channel is promotional marketing. It benefits me because I use it as part of what I call the package. And that's all the platforms that I'm on. So when I write a piece for my Substack, I go, or for my outlets, I go and promote everywhere. One of the things I never understood about people was this. Why a lot of people just seemed to just be on YouTube and that's it. They just seem to stay there and not. Now, I don't know definitively because I don't follow their exploits, so I don't know. But it just seemed to me people were too attached. When I was on YouTube, people were just too attached to YouTube. And I go, you do know there's a whole wide world, or should I say a whole World Wide Web out there, a whole internet. There are different kinds of platforms. There are different kinds of spaces you can go to. And you could do that. Like, why stay on YouTube? YouTube's limited. And the reality is, and I mentioned this in my other video, I never wanted to be on YouTube, never had any interest in it. That's why I never could understand the mentality people had. They treated YouTube like it was the precious from the Lord of the Rings. I don't know if you've seen those films. Well, I've read the books, but I've also seen the movies. But they treat YouTube, and for some, obviously, for financial reasons, monetization, but they treat it like the precious, like Gollum. And some of these people look like Gollum. I don't know if they talk like Gollum, but they certainly act like him. They're too addicted to YouTube. They're too wrapped up in it. And I never understood that. When I was a content creator here, I did at most an hour. If it was I couldn't understand people that were on, like you've got content creators that are on 5, 6, 7 hours. I've seen people on for hours and hours and hours. And I could understand going on for 3 hours to deal with a subject or something. That's a reasonable amount of time. But 7 hours? 8 hours? Like, don't you have jobs? Don't you have work? I mean, what's wrong with you people? What the hell is wrong with some of these content creators? See, this is one of the reasons I just think that YouTube is a waste of time for most people. It's just a waste of time. And the other aspect that I found when I shut this channel down, I went back to TikTok. And I had been on TikTok before I came on YouTube. And what I found in other video sharing platforms is the reality is that they're just better at getting your content and your work out there. I'll give you examples. I'll be brutally honest. When I was on this channel, the the subscriber count was growing, and I've mentioned this in my other video. The subscriber count was growing, so I got over 200 subscribers eventually here, but it was growing. What wasn't growing were the views. The views were smaller. So I have over 200 subscribers, even though this is shut down. I have over 200 subscribers on this channel. Yet I wasn't getting 200 views per video. You know what the highest amount of views I got on YouTube was? Recently, 400 views on my other channel for a short video. 400 views. That's it. Now, we look at TikTok. I've returned to TikTok. I was there. I've returned to TikTok last year. Shut this down, returned to TikTok. More recently, I've been getting over 600 views for some of these videos, for some videos that I've done. The average video was doing 100, over 100 to over 200. And the average then became over 200. I never got that on average here. By contrast, on this channel, I was fortunate if I got 100 views once or twice. Generally, it was anywhere, I would say, 40 to 70 range. And again, I couldn't even get half. Once this went to 200, I couldn't even get half of the subscribers. In other words, I couldn't get 100 views per video here. But more recently on my TikTok, I'm getting over 600 views per video. And before that, it was over 200 views. Like I said, what are the differences? In my view, I think that platform does a better job what I've seen is they seem to be able to do it. I don't know the technical reasons. I haven't looked into that. I don't know. But they seem to be able to get the videos out there in a way that benefits the channel. I'll be brutally honest. On TikTok, I have less than 100 followers. But now I'm getting 600 views and over. I was getting 200 views. So when you're talking about the platforms, these other platforms can give people more views. These other platforms can get you out there. These other platforms don't have the kinds of politics, internal politics, and favoritism and BS that YouTube has. And again, it's the benefit, and what YouTube has become, it seems to me that it's mostly a morass of mediocrity and fighting and all of this. Now, granted, TikTok is a video, so they have lives there, but I don't do lives. But that's the point. It's like there are other outlets to go to. This isn't the only one. And at the end of the day, I don't have a problem. Again, if you're in the 5 categories I mentioned, yeah, there's a reason for you to be on YouTube. Yeah, I still have a channel on YouTube. Even though this channel is shut down, I have a channel on YouTube. But I do very little there. I have no presence on YouTube. I don't do panels unless I promote and market. Everything is different. The times change. Seasons change. Aspects of society and technology and various platforms online change. The question is, do you want to go along with the change or do you want to be left behind? So YouTube might have served a purpose for a number of people, but at the end of the day, it doesn't. When I contrast my channel elsewhere with this channel, I'm getting far more views. I have less than 50 followers, not just less than 100, less than 50 followers on TikTok. But I'm getting over 600 views. This channel, at best, I had over 100 on a good video, on a good day. Again, for the reasons that I've talked about and the aspects I've talked about, YouTube is a waste of time for most people. Again, this isn't something that I necessarily wanted to talk about. It wasn't something I felt compelled to do. But in light of what's going on with this quitting YouTube phenomena and my own experiences and moving on, I just felt that it was time to just lay it out on the table. So that's the best that I can give you in regards to it. Now, again, this is a special video. I'm not coming back. I'm not doing live streams or other videos. I didn't come back before. You didn't see any content here. So you're not going to see any content from this point onward. This is just a rare special video. But I felt, yeah, I'll just go ahead and do this. So that's about it. It's been a little interesting being back here. Again, my policies are very simple. I don't do panels unless I can promote and market stuff that I do. So article I've written or show I've been on or anything like that. I have to at least say it at some point. I could talk about other stuff, but I have to say it. The reality is this, folks. If you're just on YouTube for fun, you're an idiot. If you're just on YouTube, shooting the breeze, and you've got no other reason, you're a moron. If you're on YouTube and you don't have a business, or you're not a professional, or you're not a tradesperson, or you don't have a specific job, or you don't have a hobby or interest, you're wasting your time. There's a whole big wide world out there. There's a whole World Wide Web out there. There are other platforms and other places you can go that'll probably be more effective than this one. Check them out, use them, and benefit from them. And that's it for me. It's been interesting, like I said, being back here, and that'll be it. Bye, folks.